In 2024, AI is transforming pharma marketing. AI analyzes vast amounts of data, uncovering insights to shape effective marketing strategies. AI enables personalized customer engagement, delivering the right message at the right time. AI optimizes marketing campaigns in real time. AI assists in content creation, providing data-driven insights and innovative ideas. As AI evolves, its impact on pharma will lead to more effective and personalized strategies. I am excited to help you innovate your presentations and breathe new life into the pharma field with artificial intelligence. Discover more about how AI is transforming pharma marketing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are thrilled to have you for this engaging discussion on future-proof your pharma marketing with AI, opportunities and challenges. We are honored to be joined by two leading experts in the field. First, we have Manuel Mitola. Manuel is independent advisor specializing in AI application with the pharmaceutical and biotechnology sectors. His extensive expertise includes significant roles at Eli Lilly and Menarini, and he regularly shares his insights at AI and Pharma conference. Next, we're pleased to welcome Nataliya Andreychuk, CEO and co-founder of Viseven. With over 15 years of expertise in digital pharma marketing and content implementation, Nataliya has transformed Viseven from a startup into a global leader in MarTech service for life science and pharma industries. I am Anna Zolotnitska. I'm head of PR at Viseven, and I will be your moderator for today. And let's dive into transformative role AI in pharmaceutical industry. We encourage you to ask your questions right away. We will answer all in the end of the session, and let's get started. To kick things off, let's delve. Hi, Nataliya. Hi, Manuel.
Hello.
We welcome you on stage.
Hello, Anna. Hello, Manuel. Great to see everyone.
Hi.
Hello, Anna. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
To kick things off, let's delve into the benefits and challenges of using AI in pharmaceutical industry. Manuel, my first question is for you. Could you start by sharing insights of the benefits the AI brings to pharma?
Well, I mean, we have been discussing a lot about the benefits of AI in pharma. I think there are two things when it comes to the benefits for pharma. So there are certain benefits that are cross-industry. And basically, I'm pretty sure that every one of us has seen productivity increase, speed, forecasting, data analysis. All this area could benefit a lot, let's say, regardless of the industry. So when it comes to pharma, of course, these are things that are important, but what do they mean for pharma? When it comes to launching a new brand, for example, productivity increase means a higher speed for the go-to-market. It means being faster in launching a drug. It means getting faster to the patient. And ultimately, that's something really, really important to bring innovation directly to the patient. And that's something that is cross-industry, but can apply also to pharma. When it comes to those things that are, let's say, very pharma-specific, I think pharma is dealing, historically speaking, with a lot of data. And managing the data, of course, means having, let's say, the right people, data analysts, computational power. It means having the capacity of handling big amounts of data. And AI really can play the difference. I'm saying that because pharma is more, let's say, data-driven and data-consuming than other industries, meaning that this benefit is, I think, is particularly important for pharma. Then there are other areas that are very pharma specific. I'm thinking about, for example, using AI to enhance compliance, and using AI to increase personalization. When I say personalization, I mean content, I mean touch points. I mean, this kind of hyper personalization that is leading, let's say, to the omni-channel world. I mean, we have been speaking for a year around the omni-channel. I think AI is really the enable that we were waiting for to really start with an omni-channel journey. And then the challenges, because of course AI is promising a lot. So the hype is huge. We were discussing also, Nataliya, about the, let's say, the hype that it is around AI. So the promise is big, but of course also the challenges are big as well. And I think when it comes to the challenge, top of mind, I have the cultural challenges, because of course it's not easy, let's say, to embrace an innovation where you have also, I mean, a lot of hype, also negative, saying AI will replace us all, AI will kill us all. So these kind of things. So it is really, really important to address the cultural aspect and all the cultural challenges that are coming from the adoption of this new technology. And then and that's, I think, the biggest challenge, and also the promise of this webinar, to take the AI and create something practical, pragmatic, and so on. So in my role at the moment as the AI for Pharma advisor, I speak with, let's say, many pharma companies, many AI solution providers, and so on. And one leitmotiv that I hear many times is, okay, fine, AI is great, but what can we do practically? So understanding what can we do practically, I think, is the real challenge at the moment, on top of many others. But top of mind, I have these two big buckets.
Manuel, you are absolutely right. Understanding what we can do with AI is a challenge. Why this is happening, in my mind, like the first thing is because AI is such a buzzword, right? So like very often we are like, I mean, all of us, we cannot separate the buzzword from real meaning of the thing. So what it does really mean, so AI. And you know, like there is also a very big, it's not a competition, it's a collaboration, but there is a big misleading and misunderstanding, because we put under AI everything, including the machine learning, ML, which is essential for creating models for for changing and optimizing the processes, while generative AI is something other, something to be such comprehensive speaker as a human, such human thinker, and the other things, right? And we are mixing up all these type of things like general artificial intelligence, computer vision, ML, and the AI brand. I would say ML and the others have bitten a wrong fruit while they have been pretending to be under this AI umbrella, because now whatever we are trying to implement, so we are having the AI umbrella. But you are absolutely right. Understanding what we want to achieve, how we want to use AI in organization is the must. So business drives the technology, not otherwise. Like, and the most failures in AI ML implementation is a human failure. So the most failures are not fails of technology. This is the paradox, which is the same as, you remember, the automation paradox. Like when we want to achieve with advanced technology, so what we need more humans. So the more advanced technology we have, it's not my wording, it's the wording of the author of the automation paradox, so who said, like, when computers start doing work for people, so we need more people. So that's where we need to cut the fears. And the other thing, what you have just told, like understanding what we will do. I have a certain numbers and a certain statistics. So, and I still want to bring it here because many of AI projects are failing without going out of the garage, and then they are failing because these obvious reasons. People cannot have the adoption or the agreement from the stakeholders because they either do not understand the technology at a certain level, and it means for the data scientist it's the always a question: do they don't want to approve this, or they or they cannot? It's actually the mixture of both. They cannot before they scratch the basics of the technology and the knowledge, and they do not want because they, from the very beginning, they do not have the commitment. While they do not have the commitment, because to start the AI project, we need to plan it backwards. So we need to start from the general idea what we want to achieve. So to understand what technology from AI umbrella we need to empower to achieve that. And this will be connected to this big commitment, so of the stakeholders. I do have the numbers from AI journal based on surveys by Sapir Research Institute, this 2024. So what they do have made with the survey, they had a question: what is the main blocker of AI deployment? And you would be surprised that 32% from the respondents were responding that decision makers unwilling to approve the change to existing operations. So why? Because they just do not understand. They see AI as a threat, and they are too scared to lose the revenue from the existing operations. So there was no commitment. 35% was technical hurdles in implementing, integrating, security issues. So it means like if this is technical, they can't. So everything which is legal and decision maker, they won't. So that's how only 5% the failure is regarding the legal and data issues, and all the rest is the knowledge and I would say the will to implement the technology.
Yeah,
So that's your statement.
You want to say something, Anna?
Manuel, I still have a question for Nataliya, but I want you to have an amazing conversation.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment because I'm reading also the comment section. I see a comment from Nick Lamb saying we are not part of AI paying us to do the human work, and I think this is really connected with what you were saying, Nataliya, about the failure of AI in companies, and I think in pharma is particularly true because most of the things that I have been seeing failing, it was because they were missing, let's say, an organization change management on top of this. Meaning that, you give you build the technology solution, you give it, let's say, to the business in brackets, because of course the entire company is doing business, but without the change management, this is going to be a failure. And that's why, I always push for this kind of thing, saying, okay, we need to be very human, work on the culture, work on the, let's say, on the internal allies in the company to make it run. Otherwise, if we just stay with the technology, if it goes well, it is because of luck, not because of a good plan.
Exactly. And before we start any AI project like a tip, we need to give a mandate for deep collaboration between data scientists and between business people, between business professionals. Because in our field, and I'm the witness of this, so while the data scientists and like technical experts, they are very much excited, and they're very much excited about these text models and the beauty of technical schemes they are making. So they are, do not worry about all these business maneuvers the others are making, right? And on the other side, the business specialists, they say, okay, this is too techy, I will not touch that. They are also supporting the idea of technical panacea or miracle, so technology will work their own way. So, and without this deep cooperation between two worlds, because these two species are not really going well together, right? So they're not going well together. So, and if we do not give them the collaboration power, will be this machinery will never leave the garage. So it will stay over there. So it's like being satisfied with the building space shuttle, but never see it launched.
That's a funny
And we
metaphor.
start about challenges. And Natalia, I have actually a question for you, which is I think would be amazing organic continue about our conversation. But what are the key challenges, particularly in terms of data privacy and security? I know that we start already from some challenges that organizations have, but what's your take about it?
Yeah, compliance is a big thing and a big topic. We agreed to do not touch it deeply in this conversation, but we will slightly touch it. We all do understand the GDPR, the HIPAA, and other regulatory acts, which are really mandatory to make sure that we are stay in frames. So, what could be our mitigation strategy as us still, like, if let us imagine us on the side of stakeholders who will approve the project, and they can approve, so they need to understand this risk. So they need to understand how that, and this is what we earlier discussed with Manuel, so that we need to make sure that there is some literacy about AI in place, because people at some level need to understand how this data processing, data gathering, standardization, harmonization is working, because otherwise that would be hardly possible to explain the risks. So we need to with the data, we need to understand how data minimization process is working, so that we collect only needed and necessary data, so we are not going outside of that. We need we need to set up the limitations, of course. So that's like working with the data, we need to have those limitations. We need to have communicated consents and opt-ins, so this is part of this data strategy as well. And we need to provide the clear governance, set up the data access control, take care about data integrity, and of course we about data integrity, yes, but we need also think about the side of cybersecurity. So this, in our world today, this is the most important thing. So we need to make sure that we have end-to-end encryption, that we are running regular audits, that we do have all very advanced control levels imposed about cybersecurity. This is a must today. So we do have to have a strict policy about data storage, data processing. We have to have versioning, regular backups, and of course, if we are working with some providers, we need to check whether they are certified, ideally ISO 27001 or the other suitable certification. So we need to make sure that all these precautions will help us do not go and slip with AI out of the track. And this is regular rules which are actually working everywhere. But I think with the understanding of how AI is working and how machine learning is working in principles, having all these standards as a governance inside the organization will keep you in the right track. You will keep you out of the dangerous road. That's my 5 cents from the perspective of technology and security.
I feel this is bring us actually to even more important topic, ethical consideration. And I have a questions for you, Nataliya, and for you, Manuel, because I'm sure that you have both something to discuss about it. Could you elaborate on the ethical concerns surrounding AI and pharma? I know it's a lot of talks about it. Everyone wants to know more, but how can companies mitigate the risk related to data privacy and security when implementing AI solutions?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it is important to say that if I think about AI, generally speaking, and let's take, for example, a model that you can use to do something. I want to stay very broad. It's like a chef in the kitchen. Your data are the raw material that this chef is going to cook something. So this is very important because I think when it comes to AI application, it's very true the sentence that in informatics they say garbage in, garbage out. But this is crucial to have, let's say, a good data management. Let's say, generally speaking, from a security standpoint, from a cybersecurity standpoint, and so on. Then, of course, there is the another important piece that we need to consider, that the AI, of course, can be also used for harm. So there could be hackers that are using AI. So this is a new frontier in terms of cybersecurity. I'm not an expert of cybersecurity, but I was listening to a podcast, let's say, from a real expert of this topic. And basically, there is a new frontier of cybersecurity where AI is also used for harm. It means that we need to be ready, because that's very important, and data will become more and more important in going into this direction. When it comes to the ethical considerations, I think in pharma, I have been, let's say, working in Lilly, Menarini. I know a lot, let's say, the industry. There is a lot of focus on the ethics, because at the end of the day, pharma companies are, let's say, having a direct impact on people's lives. When it comes to AI, I think it becomes crucial. The transparency part. So meaning we are transparent on how we are going to use this data, how we are going to, let's say, feed the data into the model, feed the data into the algorithms, and what are we going to do with your data? So that's the key starting point. Then we need to be, let's say, aware that, of course, data can also be biased. So there is all the bucket of, let's say, the protection from biases. But all these things, and there is much more than that, of course, in the interest of time. I'm not touching everything, but I think the starting point, and we mentioned briefly before, is the AI literacy. Because without, let's say, the understanding of the limits of the AI, without the understanding of the potentiality of the AI, what are the risks, what are the threats, and so on, it becomes very difficult to do informed decision making. And if you are not able, let's say, to have this informed decision making, either you stop the AI and then you say, okay, I don't want to work with AI, and you lose a big opportunity, or you cannot, you are not able to do an ethical decision making because you are missing the part of understanding how the AI works. So long story short, let's say, I think pharma is a real expert into making ethical decision making, and I know my colleagues are most of them very ethical persons, let's say like that. But to make ethical decision in AI, you have to understand AI first. So that's my 2 cents.
Absolutely support you here, because this is a well-known ethical concern about the accountability gap, so that could lead to ethical dilemmas, particularly if AI is used for patient care, or if AI is using patient data from the clinical trials and other stuff. So it's a well-known dilemma, and I think we need to understand the importance of informed consents, because the patients are not, like us, are not controlling well our personal data, so we do not have the visibility end to end how we are controlling data, and we might be unaware how this data would be used for AI application, particularly if it is repurposed by third party for the drug development or marketing, so we might be not aware. So that's very important, like about this ethical decision making, that informed consents are really obtained from the patients before anything goes wrong. And if there is also the questions of anonymity of the data, right? So because if AI can keep this in the track and keeping data anonymous, so it can also reveal the real people under the data. So it's the both way street. So that's why this absolutely right. It's about ethical dilemma of the accountability for decision making in these very parts, but also the ownership and the control. So that's very important. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It was very interesting. It was like, feel the first part of our discussion was amazing. We talked about the challenges, about benefits, but now let's shift our focus to AI from a marketing to commercial standpoint. I know everyone's still about like a commercial part of it. Manuel, I have a question for you. How do you see AI helping in the creation of more personalized marketing campaigns in pharma?
Well, that's a very good question, Anna. And of course, I mean, we could speak hours about it. So let's say define the two big groups of the of application where personally I see AI can make the difference. So one side of the equation, let's say, is related to the personalization, so the so-called hyper personalization. And when it comes to the personalization, this is something that it is not new. So this is something that we have been doing, or at least trying to do in marketing for years. I mean, 10 years ago, I was hearing one size doesn't fit all. So this is something not new. But what is the news? So the news is that AI can really give us the muscles, let's say, to enable through one-to-one personalization. And when I say personalization, of course, I have top of mind two kinds of personalization for a marketing campaign. So into a marketing campaign, of course, you have the content, so the content that you are producing, and then you have, let's say, the channels that are delivering this content. Can be push or pull channels, can be on demand. I mean, think about all the channels and how you can personalize. So in the past, what was the common approach? The common approach was to say, okay, I try to understand through market research what are the content that are mostly appreciated. I try to understand with, I mean, hearing from the field, let's say, what are the channel that my customers, and thinking about the healthcare provider, for example, prefers, and then you adapt the strategy. What is AI able to do is to, let's say, enable a one-to-one personalization, meaning that if I want to reach Dr. Nataliya, for example, I know that, I mean, based on the interaction, she prefer, let's say, I don't know, Nataliya, if it is true or not. Maybe you prefer receiving an email, you prefer receiving, I mean, certain kind of content from clinical trial because you are very science-driven doctor, and so on. So you can really shape and create a lot of, let's say, marketing campaign. So this is, let's say, the very first bucket that it is related to the hyper personalization. And when it comes to hyper personalization, I put into the bucket also the Gen AI, so the generative AI that is enabling the building of such a mole of content, because the more personalization you add to the equation, the more content you will need to produce at the end of the day. And that's one big bucket. Then the other big bucket, of course, I mean, I'm a marketeer, but in particular, I am a digital marketeer. So also by background. So one sentence that I think is very important is to say, okay, we are following a data-driven approach. In this case, I mean, AI is really able not only to, let's say, enable a data-driven approach in a better way than we were used to do. But one thing that AI does very well is to look at the data in a way that the human eye are not able to do, meaning that it is able to discover trend, pattern, I mean, groups that the human eye is not able to do. Long story short, the AI is enabling an augmented, let's say, targeting, for example. And that's something crucial. You all know how much it is important for Salesforce to have an effective customer targeting, how much it is important to make sure that you are reaching, let's say, the physician in the proper way. And this is something that can give you subgroup and targeting in a way that you were thinking about before. So these are the two big areas where I see inside there is a lot of things, but I mean, I don't want to, let's say, take the whole hour on this.
You can take the whole evening talking about that, because this is definitely a huge topic. AI-driven segmentation, targeted campaigns is a huge topic, and as well as the personalized content delivery, dynamic content creation, omni-channel engagement with optimized by AI is definitely a huge topic. Where I want to give a little bit more sparkle is how this affect AI helps, like we all this AI helps us, like this is not the right sentence, because we need, like, we can do it with the help of AI, like right, so it's the better sentence. So what we can do together with AI, so that we can actually influence enhancing HCP and patient engagement as well, because we can empower our CRMs, and we can have more helpers as a chatbots, like we receiving last month we are receiving thousands of requests for chatbots, and we are triaging them to understand what is underneath, how to help people to have what they actually want, because many of the requests are have the software first approach, so to have the AI under the hood, and the business idea goes next. So this is the biggest challenge, as we started to discuss in the beginning of our conversation. But also what I would say, so what we can have as acceleration for marketing and sales, this is the real-time feedback and real-time campaign optimization, right? So we can really cut the time. We can also do A/B testing with AI and all other things, but being real time, optimizing content and campaign in real time. So this is really something what we can do here and now. I would say one of my favorite case, I haven't seen it yet, but it's also the impact on field force. Whenever you have the, with the help of AI, you can to track the behavior of the HCP, and can have better scheduling for your visits and for your meetings, activities. And this is really helps us to implement 10 years old idea to meet HCP in the time they want to meet us and to talk about the medication. It's actually how AI can help us. But absolutely right, we can talk the whole evening about this.
Guys, here I am. I will lead this conversation, but of course it's like super interesting, and I agree with all of you. It's like so many deep layers to talk about, but let's shift a bit to commercial benefits, because I know everyone wants to know it, and how it's actually how AI-driven sales processes like help with this. So Nataliya, my question for you about the benefits, but Manuel, my question would be for you about challenges that like we have in the adoption AI in these areas.
Like the benefits within everything what we just discussed: personalization, acceleration, target audience, like precision of the target audience, right? So what we have just discussed, we do have the ability to increase ROI, because we will have much more reach with our message, right? With our messaging. And I think what is with the help of AI, if we are talking about sales team and we're currently having this project inside our organization, we do have the possibility to increase predictability of the revenue growth, of the customer retention. And we can not only predict, we can build a model which will suggest us how to make sure this commercial effect happens, how the customer retention happens, and how it can last longer. So then this is what we are building on the top of the data we have from the sales perspective, from the marketing perspective, from finance, from legal, from the operations. So all this type of data will help, with the help of AI, will help us to build this predictability of the revenue and the growth of the organization. This is the major point. On the top of all the activities, we can improve, because there's the smaller steps, but this is the where we can really benefit out of AI technologies.
And then we go to the challenges, I guess.
Yeah. Like I'm meaningfully looking at in your side.
Exactly. So if it's a benefit, it's always a challenges, right? So nothing to hide.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to sales, I think that basically the biggest challenge will be very linked to what we said before, meaning that I think the biggest part is to overcome the cultural barriers. So I know, let's say, many sales rep. I have been on the field together with them, and they are very experienced. So most of them are doing their job pretty well. So this is something that I mean, it is a relationship job. This is something that is based on personal communication, human connection, and so on. So introducing something new in a process that at least in the mind of people is already perfect is very difficult. So when it comes to the AI for sales, I think the biggest challenge is related to the adoption from a cultural perspective, and this is related to say, okay, how can I show you that this thing is not a replacer, but it is an aider? How can I show you? Let's say I'm still in the sentence from Eric Topol, the doctor. Let's say AI is there, let's say, to make you more human. What does it mean? It means that, I mean, with the introduction of all the digital things, let's say the CRM, the digital content, and so on, the job of the sales rep have been transformed in the last 10 to 20 years. But also, I understand that they had, let's say, a lot of burden in bureaucracy, in bureaucratic things, a lot of burden in uploading the data, keeping the CRM updated. Of course, these things have been evolving. But what I mean is AI can really make the difference, reducing the workload there and allowing, let's say, to focus on what is really driving the human relationship. So I think this is the biggest challenge. The second biggest challenge when it comes to sales, I think, is related to drive practical applications. So to say, okay, nice with the AI, but what can we do practically? So this is really something that can make the difference if it is integrated not only into the tech system, so that's one thing, but integrated in how the operation, the sales operation are working. And the challenge is to let's make it practical. And it is challenging because it implies that the company changes processes that maybe are consolidated, maybe are difficult to change, and all these kind of things. I see these two big areas of challenges.
I do agree with you. So the perception of AI, like the solution which will implement everything what we have imagined for its implementation. So by itself, this is wrong. We must really be allies with AI and know about all the flavors of AI, to be able to support, to implement, to change to make this cultural shift inside the organization. That's totally right, because otherwise we will never be able to put this task on the map. So we need to enhance customer engagement. We need to have predictive sales forecasting, and we need to reduce time to market for the new products. AI, please do it quickly. No, that is not how it is. So we need really to work together. We need to understand that we are, with the help of AI, doing this, and more human. So being more human, so understanding more and being more involved and being more allies with the technologies. This is what it takes.
And Natalia, I mean, there is also another big challenge, let's say, that it is coming to my mind thinking about my friend's brand manager. Because, I mean, we spoke about the benefits coming from personalization. We spoke about, I mean, building content and so on. But of course, the more content you produce, the more you will have to prove. Meaning that, I mean, the good old MLR review will be there to say, you want to publish 100,000 contents, fine, you will have to 100,000 approval flow. So this is one big challenge that I see when it comes to the AI, because AI is enabling, facilitating maybe the content production, but pharma is different from mass market. There is a long MLR review, country-based MLR rules. So this is something that can be really a showstopper somehow in for certain AI application, and that's truly a big challenge.
And you understand that's a Yumi topic, right? And everyone is already listening what they're about to say, how they dare to make sure that MLR is accelerated, because there are all of those risks. And I would say, like, if we will see 100 of books on the AI topics and make our research, we will find nothing than the statement that the automated compliance check will be implemented and will be the reality. Everyone says that because the algorithms, because like what we are talking about right now, the algorithms, the ML, so it's the algorithm, right? And all the compliance and regulations, they are pretty accurate topics. They are pretty accurate guidelines. So if we have like we are working on this right away to accelerate our content approval process, to help our customers to have less burden on their shoulders before they publish for approval. So this is where we are working today as well. So we are not succeeded to automate 100%, but what we are doing, we are working with each our individual customer data, helping them to to understand their past regulatory history. So whenever the algorithm itself can collect only dust, right? So but if we are working together and we understand that we can and we want to improve the speed of the process, so our algorithm need to collect, like hypothetically, the data from the past approval, the past failures, the past content returns, analyze approvals and rejections, identify patterns, predict potential compliance issues before content submitted for review. So this is what we are going to do, to predict the issues before this is submitted for somebody's review. It will help. It will help to streamline process. It will save us a couple of lapses going here's and there's with the content. Also, like if we are talking about the tools with which we are implementing that, this is content harmonization and categorization, which we are doing with our platform eWizard. So when we have the content harmonized, that means like all the content have predefined types, format, taxonomy, it's properly tagged, so it's understandable, readable and understandable, that it is commercial, clinical, or marketing content, whatever content it is. So then we are on the halfway to implement the automated approval. But I think we today we are at this stage where we are reducing the errors. So our achievement today, and I think many of my colleagues are working on this type of the achievements, they are really checking the references, automating cross-referencing. They are checking the updates, the grammar, the analyzing the texts, the imagery, analyzing the recent behavioral issues with the approval, and then give the errors list. So in this way, we are minimizing back and forths, but automation is the next step. So, and of course, such a model, if it's implemented into the concrete context of the concrete pharma organization, will be trained and will be becoming better and better, and will reduce the errors which we can see. So we shouldn't anticipate the miracle from the very first implementation, because this is us together with AI will be accelerating this process before we are publishing to review. So we want to publish to review, like review ready content, which is ready to be approved, not going back and forth and making all of this noise. So there we are with it.
Manuel, and do you have something to add about tools? Because Nataliya very organically started talking about tools, what tools we can use, and in general, what is your take about it? Because I feel this would amazingly sum up our discussion, but I really want us to have some time for questions and for even more discussions ahead.
Yeah, sure. I think from my side, let's say my thought on this is that, and with this answer, I'm answering also the comment from Irina in the chat. I think when it comes to let's say AI, when we are looking at AI for let's say doing prediction, reducing error, and so on, basically we are in front of a prediction. And whenever we are in front of a prediction, especially when we are, I'm not speaking about the content approver here, I'm thinking about, for example, sales forecasting, prediction of the marketing strategies, and so on. We're speaking about the future. So it is impossible, regardless of the technology, to have 100% accuracy to say and predict what is in the future. So that's one thing that we need to accept. And the other thing is that that's the bad news. The good news, let's say, is related to the fact that when it comes to the AI, we can do two things. First of all, one thing that we can do is to use the right, let's say, AI technology. We mentioned before different example. Picking up the right tool, let's say, depending on the mistakes that we cannot afford. So, for example, I mean, I want to use RAG for example, being sure about the reference of an answer, for example, or I can use another technology if the error is not, for example, a super big issue. So it really depends on the error that you cannot afford, and then you can select the technology to be, let's say, more adapt to the specific task. And that's one thing. The other thing, and when it comes to the prediction, of course, every marketing plan is based on assumption for the future, and these assumptions are coming from market research data and so on. So I think the impact is really connected to how much the assumption is right or wrong. But the good news, let's say, related to the AI is that you can train and refine the model, train and refine the AI solution that you have used to implement your marketing strategy using, let's say, the very basic planned versus actual. Of course, you can refine, you can work in reducing the error iteratively, and step by step, you can go better and better. You will never have, let's say, the 100% certainty, because we cannot predict the future. But the good news is that you can be more and more precise the more you use it. And I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, AI is, I mean, a big group of tools. So it is important to use it properly to, I mean, make prediction, make generating content, all these kind of things. But we have to use it properly.
Exactly. I have a very important comment to add, because this is the lifelong topic, and as we do have a wizard content offering experience platform, so you do understand how much it is also our topic. So, but I want to touch the part of these questions which we haven't touched before. Yes, we can reduce the number of errors, we can learn on our mistakes, but what about post-review monitoring and continuous improvement of content? So today, after one piece of content has been approved, there is a need to ensure that it remains compliant over time, particularly if regulation changes and if local regulations emerge, like European AI Act or whatever. So we need to monitor that this exact piece of content stays compliant. How to do that without AI? There is no answer, because it's a huge data, and this is, we are not doing, like, we are not doing it because we are doing it once we're shipping the new bunch of content, and we're checking everything else again and again. And it means like we spent weeks to check again the things. And let us imagine that there is the algorithm which is on our behalf, on the backstage, is checking this content again and again, all the time, mechanically, robotically, automatically, without our direct involvement. And we have this, fresh and ready content each time we need, but with this certain annotation about its probability and everything. And around the tools, so and especially in the content creative phase, I think we need to understand so that every content creative platform today using different type of AI tools. So this is from the GPT based models to NLP based tools, which are working with the language analysis, and then design platforms which are embedded into the content creation platforms. So then video creation tools, avatars, modular content with the AI. So a lot of things can really help us to create the content, but they are all working together in a nice collaboration, because within this hype of AI technology, as Gartner hypercycle is showing us, right? So this is what is happening. We want everything at once, and this is going from the partnership, integrations, and creating the right environment. So flexibility, right environment, secure but inclusive. So there's like all the needed tools for video, for websites, for design, for articles, for reading the text, for translations are included. This is the recipe for success, I believe.
Guys, I feel it was such insightful information. I definitely would, recommend even to rewatch it. We would have everything saved on our LinkedIn. I really, really ask you, because while we move into Q&A session, and now we will answer all your questions, please. I already typed something, don't understand wrong, because I'm typing some comments in our comment session, but I really want to discuss some questions that bump in Nataliya's social media, because we posted before. So please follow Nataliya, please follow Manuel, because he discussed a lot about AI. So now you would see a QR code where you can find us. And I really want us to jump for a first comment, which is quite it really catch our attention, because when we work, we were thinking what is happening, like how people reacting to our topic. It was great comment from an audience to Nataliya page. In my experience, AI tool seems to be a mystery to most of people. Was very clever, because I feel that many people feel this way, right? That for most people who do not work with them directly, some people are afraid, some remain clueless, and some see in some sort of magic pill that just, solve all problems. As AI tools evolve, how can pharmaceutical companies make AI system transparent, and how stakeholders, including regulators and healthcare providers, to make it explainable? Nataliya, Manuel, please.
I think we have touched this topic in the very beginning of our conversation. So we need to understand the technology more, and we need to encourage the collaboration between scientists and business people. And without understanding of the technology, there will be less and less appreciation of it. So technology, like AI, is an umbrella term. So when we are using AI, so it's an umbrella term for many technologies which are under this umbrella. So this is the ML, this is the computer vision. There are the others which are under the umbrella. So then, if we understand deeper what we can achieve with each of them, so we will be less scared, because either we want to create the imaginary or the speech or the letter, like we can use generative AI to speak like a human, to create a personalized letter, to work in that direction. Whenever we want to improve operations and the process in the company, we need to look at ML, at machine learning. So because these models will help us to improve the processes and other stuff in organizations. So we need more understanding, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we have even a comment that this is like interesting observation, so we definitely can discuss it more. And we have one more question about MLR acceleration engine, and can it be customized to each company and based on the historical data of each company? You know, it's going like some legends about this historical data of each company. I know that it's like some challenge, let's say, for many companies how to deal. And yeah, what's your take about
I think
this,
it's
Manuel?
about a wizard. It's about a wizard still. MLR acceleration engine. It's about a wizard. Yeah. I think Manuel, please prove if I'm wrong. So every ML can be customized because it's a customized data model for your particular need. And once there is a big aim we make, accelerate some process which exists, but our customers have very specific history of content creation, standardization, and approval. So, and they particularly have different data sets which we can use for our data model and create the right ML model, and then to improve the process. What do we have in the eWizard platform is just the scheme. The framework means we have a framework, the guideline, and we have the interface, which works alike for everyone, but the data model used underneath is totally polished for the customer. So that's the answer.
And very quickly, Nataliya, just to add a couple of things from my side on this point. I think definitely I confirm, I mean, it can be a learning technology, let's say. So ML are learning, AI is generally speaking is broad, but it is learning. And of course, I mean, the more historical data you have, it can be more accurate, more precise, and so on. I like the question, how accurate are they at the beginning of the implementation? I like this part because it reminds me two very important things. So the answer to this question is, of course, it really depends. And I think it depends on two things, on the amount of data that you have, that you at the beginning, the quality of data that are used, and also how the training session at the beginning on this set of data is done. This is generally speaking very important, meaning that if you have a very good data warehouse, very properly managed, you have a lot of data, high quality data, then this kind of accuracy from the very beginning can start as the potential to start from a very high degree. But it really depends. If you have no data or rubbish data, it's very likely to be super precise.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as we just told before, it will collect only dust, right?
I feel that we had a truly enriching discussion today. We're running out of time, but please, I'm asking everyone, use a QR, join us, follow Nataliya, follow Manuel on LinkedIn, just reach us with questions, whatever you feel interested, any questions about AI. It would be like truly interesting discussion. I do believe personal discussion as well. And thank you everyone to joining.